Welcome once again to a farmer's breakfast show right here from County 034. I was told I need to change the name, so I will be asking you guys of some names that we can be able to change this breakfast show to brighten it up. Your host, Noah Naseli Kadima, always excited to be able to be here with you this morning and every other morning to just understand what is happening in the industry, how are we growing, are we really growing, or what can we do differently so that we can be able to grow better. Remember, behind me, Farmers Media, we help you connect, learn, and grow. And today we're going to talk about some very interesting topic. We are going to talk about big topics, big issues, and we're going to talk about the state of the nation in terms of agriculture. Where are we? Where are we supposed to have been? Where are we going? Are we going the right direction? What do you think? Send us your comments or send us your ideas. Send us what you think where we are going. Send us, you can actually even reply in the comment section. Tell us what you think the industry is going, which direction is it the right direction. We've had quite a few changes, change in government. We have had change in policies. We have drought. We have climate change. We have farmers not going back to the farms. We have school fees hitting us. What is happening? But before that, I'd like to share some story that I actually got to watch, and it was a very interesting story because looking at what is happening across Africa, there is quite a lot of disconnect. We see in Madagascar, the Africa Development Fund in agriculture is actually giving out money in terms of rehabilitating project boosting farmers' incomes. You see, that is very interesting because what is happening is that they are facilitating, making sure that it is working. It has provided a new boost to agriculture, resulting in enhanced farmer incomes, according to the project completion report that was issued in January. And you see, what has happened is that there's a steep increase in the earnings that farmers are getting. And this is one of the things that we would like to ask ourselves: what is the status of agriculture in the country right now? We also have a very interesting discussion, though not in Africa. We are finding that India is changing its trajectory. So when we talk about India, Madagascar, Africa, we're talking about the global south, South Americans. We're talking about the global south. What is happening? How are we doing this to make sure that we can be able to overcome the challenges that we're facing right now? We saw one of the ministers in one of the countries in West Africa who was actually even crying because his country has actually become the biggest, I think, cocoa producer in the country. Can that happen? As we're discussing this, we're not just talking about the state of the nation at national level. We're also discussing about this at county level, at sub-county level, at ward level. What is being done by anybody who is in authority in agriculture, our ministers, our minister of agriculture? What is he doing that makes you happy? We've recently had or seen something in the newspapers about the position of a CAS. Who is going to take this position? Because that is a key part, key role, especially in understanding the smallholder farmers. What about the CECs in agriculture? Are they doing the right thing? I can comfortably say that my CEC in agriculture, Kajiado County, Madam Jacqueline Cohen, is doing a commendable job, always making sure that smallholder farmers are benefiting and are also thinking out of the box. Currently quite a number of projects that she's overseeing and enabling to happen, and also just partnering with the right partners in the industry as well. So this is a very interesting discussion that we're going to have. We're going to have one of our seniors in the industry, both in the industry as well as in governance, as well as in matters youth and women empowerment, entrepreneurship, and growth. So we're going to discuss this in a few minutes. A few hours ago, President, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, is he a professor now? No, the doctor yet. Yes, he was able to meet with the food and FAO delegation that is in the country, which has been led by General Kudunai, who met him yesterday, and they were discussing quite a lot. And one of the things that they managed to bring out is how can we as a country contribute to the success of this organization so that we can be able to continue partnering and not being funded, because that is really important discussion. So that he said that that his government is really committed in intensifying their partnership to produce enough food to feed everyone. And I know that means also and above and beyond. Thank you very much again for this fantastic day that you have tuned in with us. And as we discuss this hot discussion, the state of the nation in terms of agriculture. Where are we? Where are we going? Are we going the right direction? Are we following the right steps? And are we going the right speed? Allow me to invite my guest who is going to join us. He will introduce himself. Karibu sana.
Asante, good morning.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
Good morning to you. Greeting you from the deepest side of Western Kenya, Vihiga
Yes,
County.
I can see you on the ground.
Always on the ground.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much for
Yes,
joining us. Would like you to
yes.
probably just introduce yourself, and then we can get it on.
Wow, my name is Kelvin Kerr. I'm currently the managing director for Nadanya Green Farm, which is based here in western part of Kenya, Vihiga. I happen to be experienced on matters governance, devolution, youth economic empowerment with women development, and in a nutshell, just basically around entrepreneurship. Got a lot of passion in bringing young people into the space of agriculture and looking up into opening the space of agriculture within the African space. Thank you so much, Noah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Kelvin, for sparing your time to be with us. The state of the nation. Where are we in agriculture? Are you happy with where we are?
I don't think anybody is happy because guys are dying in Turkana, in Garissa. You know, I mean, it's a shame. We are also facing issues of challenges to access fertilizer. Farmers have actually plowed their land, moving across the country as I've been traversing. People are ready, but you see, this fertilizer probably has not reached them. It's still expensive. The cost of production generally in agriculture, for my case, an example, it's been difficult to produce the products last year. And even as we begin this year, the cost of production is so high. There was maize at some point, and now the cost of maize going up. Somehow, probably it's being ordered or something. Not sure. So the state is not good. However, we are grateful to the new government of Dr. William Samoei Ruto. There was actually in his manifesto, I think he had proposed to put about 250 billion aside in the financial years for 2023 to 2027. They are now doing the appropriations and supplementary budgets. I'm hopeful that in his spirit, actually, in his manifesto, it is actually the first pillar in his manifesto is agriculture. I want to believe that he's quite passionate about it. And I'm hopeful that in this new budget, we are going to see intentional budgeting towards agriculture. You just talked about the FAO team. I think they are doing some study about the drought and the livestock infestation in the country. Just look back what happened during the livestock infestation uh, and the responses that we're getting from government.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sad. If you come to counties now, unfortunately, there are some counties that have done their recruitment for these CCs and chief officers, but the competence levels of these particular persons in office, some of really, I talk about inverted or lopsided uh, approach to development. I think much really needs to be done. We are not really badly off. There is positivity.
Mm-hmm.
There were this formation of what they call JASCOMs. I'm yet to see
Yes.
them being implemented and CASCOMs in these counties because of very good strategies and very good budgets, even aligning young people to agriculture. I think I'll stop there for now.
Thank you very much for highlighting. And viewers, you can see and you can hear for yourselves why I said we have a big person in the industry and passionate about what is happening because he's in touch with what is happening in the industry. Apart from just being in touch, he's also a very practical participant in the industry, both as a producer, as a we don't call them human rights anymore. I can say agricultural rights fighter or fighting with us, getting to understand even the competency levels, which is something that we'll discuss on during the show. Kelvin, you have been very passionate in growing Nadanya Green Farm, first of all, and getting to understand, and you've not done it for yourself. When I say that, you've not done it for yourself to gain out of it. You have done it and you have opened doors. Looking at your profile, looking at watching your YouTube channel, you have welcomed high and mighty. You've welcomed all of us. I have been privileged to have visited your farm. What was the thinking behind coming and forming Nadanya Green Farm?
Much. I want to say that sometimes when you leave this earth, or when you're living on earth, there is something that you are purposefully made to achieve. And sometimes it's difficult to get it. And in most cases, pressure or the natural systems pushes you to
Mhm,
actualize that particular thing because it is the
mhm,
thing that probably you are meant to do on earth. And then probably if your time comes, you exit. I'm not saying I'll exit tomorrow. I still pray to live more. So the thinking around this was how can we change the mindset of our people, particularly in the Western region, to embrace agribusiness, not agriculture. We have been doing agriculture for many years since
mhm,
before independence to date. But can we think about enterprising the agri systems, looking at it from an income, from a revenue generating stream, looking at it
mhm,
from an employment opportunity or creation avenue, looking at a wealth creation avenue.
mhm.
Having traveled and having been blessed to work around this country,
Yes.
I realized that the Western region can actually feed this country because
Mhm,
our climate is so good.
mhm,
Our human capital, the labor, is so
mhm,
enormous. You
mhm,
know, our water systems. I've
mhm,
never heard in my life that a part of Western Kenya dried totally, that there was no
mhm.
water at all. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Very
So
true.
if you look at the geosystems and
Mhm.
geology of our region, we are
Yes.
blessed to have water running all year round.
Mhm,
Then I also realized that our people believe in rain-fed agriculture. So
mhm,
how could we come with the information that we have to change our mindset that we can actually use the water that we have from our streams, from wells or rivers, and do
mhm,
irrigated agriculture?
mhm,
Then there was also the aspect of climate smart sustainability. We
mhm.
have solar that is running, not being utilized. Sorry.
Yes.
When I traveled to Germany, I happen to have seen technology of how the guys use solar. Actually, most
Mhm,
of their rooftops are solar. So I said, how can we also try to bring this technology around home to be able
mhm.
to reduce on the cost of energy and
Yes.
maximize on the natural resources that we have, in a small
Mhm.
way also reducing on the carbon emissions and just to promote climate smart agriculture. I
Yes.
also learned that people plant trees, but what particular trees do people plant? So these people plant eucalyptus. And just
Mhm,
because my grandfather used to plant, I found it there. So yes, I plant because it's being planted. But when you look at it critically, it has
mhm,
no commercial value because even the trees that they plant, they take
mhm.
long to grow and they take a lot of water on our soils.
Yes.
So I came up with this idea of, now changing it to plant bamboo
Mm-hmm.
to plant fodder around these uh, what we call them the riparian zones, which
Yes.
also brings me to another point. The larger eastern part of Kenya also has got a large portion of it on the riparian section, which lies idle. Most
Yes.
of them are thickets.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are harboring wild animals. I see sometimes hunters trying to move around my area to check whether there's still a bush around or not. So, how can we commercialize these riparian zones and transform them to agri-tour sections
Yes.
or even forest tour sections
Mm-hmm.
where we can earn money? So basically, the idea was to change the mindset and spiral the minds of our people to start thinking about how can we commercialize the resources that we have. So that's when we came up with Nadanya Green Farm. To tell you, Nadanya was never known as a place where any high and mighty would visit. So when I came to buy the land in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
many people were asking me, why are you going to the deep heart of the village to possess land?
Uh-huh.
And sometimes you have a vision that is so bigger than yourself.
Yes.
So my vision is, can we have a demo place where people can come and see? And people learn by seeing. Also, yeah,
Exactly.
doubting Thomases. We have to see, confirm that actually something can come from here. So I was buying the land. Very few people understood me. But when we began to do the project, I've seen highest, even senior people in national government coming here,
Yes.
and people from the county government coming, and from the private sector. Now, after producing on the first cycle, let me amaze you. We did produce fish from our ponds. And people could not believe that the fish from Vihiga would be sweeter than that from Lake Victoria.
Yes, I remember you telling
So,
me a
so,
story. Yes. Uh-huh.
so we had to do a lot of free samples, so free
Mm-hmm.
gifting to neighbors, to people, and the feedback was amazing. So right now I'm in problem because people want fish from Nadanya Green. Our capacity is not yet ready to meet that
Yeah.
demand. So you can see the shift of mindset. And then around the
Mm-hmm.
community, we have these young
Mm-hmm.
people, wherever when you are moving, they ask you for 20 shillings
Mm-hmm.
or kamnyweso, that tend to go
Yes.
and buy something behind there. They come, they're not able to see or walk. So using this model place, I've now seen the neighboring community begin to cut their bushes, begin to remove eucalyptus from their areas. And now they are taking up agriculture. They are
Mm-hmm.
planting vegetables. I'm seeing some of them are even now asking me how can they do the ponds. And I'm happy because to me this is community empowerment. Once they're able to embrace, not to look at me as a competitor, but look at me as a solution to their issues, then we could work Nadanya to become an aggregation section where now all these people, since they've been able to see what we are doing, they can bring, as long as they're doing quality stuff, I'll be able to market for them. So
Wow.
basically, that was a vision and the thinking around. So it's open for people to come and learn. And I can tell you, even senior Vihiga County government officers, when they come here, they ask, are we in Vihiga or are we in some kind of place in Kiambu? But Kiambu is just like, yeah, so I welcome you more. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to expanding. Of course, you
Mm-hmm.
are aware of challenges that people have when we are doing these things, financing, space to expand, you know. Right now, I can't buy land here easily because what people are already seeing that, this guy, one pond already, somebody can get some good cash. So,
So automatically the price shoots up. Thank you very much. Thank you for
yeah,
taking
but
us through
yeah,
about the Nadanya Green Farm. And I know for sure if we can be able to adopt that model and have that model across, it will mean a lot. It will mean success. It will mean that we can be able to have such models, and especially you setting this up, you've not just done it yourself. You've not just done
Yeah.
it yourself. You have actually done it with your son. Tell us about your son, my good friend. Tell us about him a bit.
I wish he was here. He was going to school.
I know.
Um, um, we are told that children learn from the footsteps of their parents. And I think to me, I've witnessed it, and I thank God for this opportunity because it's a rare occasion for many young children. Because when I was going to school, I had little chance. My parents, especially my dad, he was always traveling. But I have been deliberate to ensure that I try to be around, especially when I'm running with this vision. So interestingly, the young boy has had a lot of interest in agriculture. If you come today when I'm not around, he would actually take you round, right from the gate, round the farm, to the office, talk to you, sign the visitor's book, and even charge you because he's been able to study every step that I'm doing. And I give him the space to do what he likes because then if I don't give him the space, I could be denying a potential of somebody who would do much more better than I'll be doing. He's joined 4K Club. He did tell me, but one day when I think they were asked to carry grass for the rabbits, he had to tell the mom to tell me in advance to get him grass for the rabbits. So when he came, I
Ah.
had an
Uh-huh.
interaction with him and I asked him, "So you joined 4K Club?" He said, "Hey, Dad, I enjoy because what we do here is for me it's so good. I feel nice. The environment, the contribution to climate, the way our trees are green, even the watering of the flowers, he does them himself. He just takes the initiative. So it's a passion that he has grown. Right now, he has interest in dogs. So the dogs that we're breeding, actually his project. I have decided to
Hmm.
donate one fish pond to him because
Wow,
he
fantastic.
likes he
Uh-huh.
likes the fish. He feeds them.
Yes.
He tracks the record. He wants to know when are we harvesting, when are we changing from starter mash to growers mash to finisher mash. You know, he checks round the comes to school. He checks round the ponds, and he comes back to give me the feedback uh, about what he's seen there. In any
Uh-huh.
case, there's a fish that has died that is floating over the water. He would come and tell me that I have removed this fish, or it's far deep at the center of the pond. Let's wait
Yes.
for it, then we would remove it. So I find him as the future of agriculture. I also thank God for the capacity to be able to hand over to him at his age.
Fantastic.
It will be much more easier for him to scale the agenda of agriculture. For your sake, I have got a
Yes.
photo of I and him fishing and a video.
Ah. Okay. I think
He's
send
post
it send,
me.
send it send it to us. We can be able to showcase it as we continue talking. Yeah. So
Uh,
thank you
yes,
for doing this. And as for those who
yes.
are watching, you can see the images there of Kelvin doing his thing. I've visited one of the photos I took of the ponds there. I took it personally when I visited there. I am proud.
You have the one for the chicken, the one for the chicken, the bees.
Yes, I have them. I think they'll be
Yeah,
showing them as we continue. Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, Kelvin, this is really commendable because you are doing this firsthand. I wanted to start off with this journey of Nadanya Green Farm and you and your son and your family supporting you and making sure this is a success story. You having said, I want to go to the ground, I'll stick here here and be able to make this a success. We have seen some of the pumpkins that you've harvested. You're seeing the fish ponds. You're seeing the dairy goats that you are having. Now, going back to our topic of the day in terms of the state of the nation in terms of agriculture. This is a very interesting time because half the country is producing, cannot be able to take the produce to the market, cannot make sure that the produce reaches our tables. But the other part of the country is facing drought, it's facing climate challenges, is facing lack of even affordable food. With your own example and experience with Nadanya Green Farm, as well as you being very passionate about governance in terms of quality of governance, which is very rare at this time of the time that we're living in. What is your advice to young people who are in agriculture? What should they do right for them to be able to benefit? Because we are doing everything, but some of the things that we're doing are not benefiting us. What should we do right?
Even African governments are struggling to get it. I'll try my best. I think first and foremost is let young people get into agriculture not because they just want to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they want to make money, then they will
Mm-hmm.
stop tomorrow or stop the
Mm-hmm.
next 5 minutes. It's not easy. It's a process. So the first
Yes.
thing that they need to know is that let them come to agri space as a passion,
Mm-hmm.
with patience and with a lot of preparation for the challenges ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing that I've come to realize is that the society itself does not appreciate that one can actually make it through agribusiness.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start to make it, that's when they begin like, so it's possible. So many
Mm-hmm.
people, when they drive from the city to come, don't believe that I could be making some 200, 500, 1,000 from this stuff. When they see the
Mm-hmm.
exchange, I'm
Yes.
exchanging fish, uh,
For
let's
money.
say 20 kilos, with money. I'm exchanging chicken, pumpkin, then they begin to see that actually there can be some kind of transformation. So that's point number one. Point number two,
Mm-hmm.
that the financing and the players, the policies around agriculture are not
Mm-hmm.
for agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
They are not for agriculture. A good example, have you seen insurances being floated around for agriculture as compared to insurance being floated on vehicles or land? You know, have you seen? It's very minimal. So,
Yes.
so they need to know that this
Yes.
is this high risk venture, and
Yes.
there are a lot of challenges as regards to financing. So most
Mm-hmm.
financing, especially for startups, need to
Mm-hmm.
come from their own savings,
Mm-hmm.
own resource mobilization.
Mm-hmm.
There are other avenues like the
Mm-hmm.
Ways of funds, the youth funds, the affirmative action fund, and now even the
Yes.
Hustler fund. Look at Hustler
Mm-hmm.
fund, for example. If it's a youth who
Mm-hmm.
want to go into agriculture,
Mm-hmm.
the first Hustler fund rating, most of the guys were getting 900, 500 shillings.
Yes.
So how do you start that venture using that amount of money? Well, it's possible, but there are
Mm-hmm.
other things that need to be put in place. Number three is that again, this venture requires a lot of reading and research.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, before I came to do fish and poultry, I did my own
Mm-hmm.
research. And for your sake, if you know Victoria Farms,
Yes.
Victoria Farms have just taken a model which I discovered 7 years ago.
Ah.
And since because they are, it's some international support, we are not
Yes.
able to copy them. But I can
Mm.
tell you, given support or given financial apparatus, I would be a
Mm-hmm.
serious competitor for Victoria Farms because
I can
one,
imagine
their
it.
fish, yes, you can see probably people in Nairobi are eating fish from them. It's not bad, but I can assure you, if we get to this of that speed, then they would feel it because our fish we've done approved, and they're very, very sweet. So that aspect of financing is a bit something that the young people need to prepare for. And number four, county governments have not yet appreciated that they have power in supporting young people into agriculture. A good example is now the CASCOMs. When you look at the arrangement of the CASCOMs, somebody who is a youth, the people who are youth in those committees, unfortunately, the number of counties that I have interacted with, they're not young people. They are not accepted to be young people. They are a bit elderly. So there is a mismatch. So young people have really to press, have really to push so that they are part and parcel of these processes and be able to put the agenda. Some of the counties, through support of GIZ and a number of partners, have been able to establish county agribusiness strategies. I'm sure you are aware of some of them.
Yes, yes.
Now, these strategies are also good. They are on paper. But who will make them happen? It is the young people. By them involving in agriculture, involving on the tables of policy, participating in county integrated development plannings, county annual development plannings, county budget hearings, and opportunities for incorporation of their ideas in the county formulation. Agriculture is a devolved function, and so there is no excuse. The young people have got to be part of it. Issues such as land banks, these are ideas that have been there. A good example in Tanzania, the other day you heard even the president pronouncing herself on how they are going to give land and financing to a number of
Yes.
youth for a period of years. You can imagine the employment. In fact, I was looking at that and said, Kenya will begin to start buying food from Tanzania. Because if that happens, I
Yes.
can assure you all the chicken we are eating in Kenya will be coming from Tanzania. So these opportunities can only happen when such as I am doing it here are able to participate in the process. As myself in Vihiga, I can assure you, even without being in office or being in a position in the county systems, I have supported, I have promoted, I've contributed, I've influenced policy just by the things I'm doing, because I am a reference point from Vihiga under the Western region, in the Lake region. I'm hopefully to be at the national level. So that's it. And fifthly, the thing that I want to say again to young people is that the jobs are not only in production. Like I have to farm, I have to put on an apron the way I do. Me, I put on the overall. I like it. I put on the gumboot. But there are other avenues within the agriculture chain that they can take advantage. A good example is a border border. Why should I wake up to go to the stage with a motorbike and wait for passengers for me to drop them? Yeah, I could actually decide to set my aggregation point for bananas at that stage.
Yes.
So as I carry a client to the deep side of the village, I come back with a banana, which probably I would have bought at a cheaper price in the village, let's say at 300, and then put
Yes.
it at the market. I will sell it at 500. So you will have solved the challenge of uh, transport in the chain of agriculture and leveraging on that transport advantage to make money. That is one. Two is IT. There, I'm now struggling to set up my website. But
Yes.
how many younger people are out there with the skills in IT or even with the time being able to identify people of my kind and bring them together and setting up even a platform that markets these people or setting up
on, on, that,
YouTube channels. All
on
this stuff.
that
Yeah.
point, let me ask
Yes.
you: is it that
Yes.
the young people do not see that there's beauty and something else in agriculture apart from just the soil and the water? Is it that's why they're not getting into industry, or have we not welcomed them in the industry?
that we've not welcomed them. Good in case is like the example we used about my son. I've welcomed
Mm-hmm.
him. There are other parents that would tell them, no, 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 I don't want you to be there. You should be doing your homework or playing with your computer, some kind of that thing.
Yes,
So they
yes.
grow not knowing that they can actually benefit. And sometimes even we hide them from the money process. For example, like uh, when I'm getting money, when the money is being paid by a pay bill, you see the gentleman sees and is able to know that if I do this, I can earn from this.
Mm.
So one, we have not involved them, but two, the
Mm-hmm.
curriculum also that they go through in school does
Mm-hmm.
not has not for a long time been promoting young people to be involved in the agri space.
Okay.
And number three is that the connection. So
Mm-hmm.
you study agriculture as a subject alone, then you study ICT alone. So at what point do you connect, do you synergize agri-tech or technology for agriculture? There is that
Okay.
miss. So yeah.
So you've touched on very critical issues, and I know, and I can see you're having a cup of tea made from goat milk. I will ask that don't go. Our viewers also don't go. We're taking a very short break, but before we take the break, Kelvin, you've mentioned very critical aspects of the production in terms of taking food from the farm to the market. And one challenge you've mentioned is transport. How have you managed to cope with this? Because in terms of making sure that your produce does not get spoiled on the farm, you don't throw. I can see when I visited, I did not see any dumping place, meaning that a lot or most of your produce is taken it out. How do you cope with the transport issue?
So thank you. A lot of our production is organized. So for instance, when we want to harvest fish, like tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
we'll do some harvesting.
Mm-hmm.
This person will be taking to, if it is 10 kilograms, 3 kilograms, 15 or 5. If it is
Mm-hmm.
chicken, we know where we're taking and at what
Mm-hmm.
particular point are we harvesting, defeathering, or something like that. So ours is organized because this, to me, I told you, it's an agri venture. It's not an agri farm where you would decide to do anything today. So it's very, very organized and it's
Mm-hmm.
done on a business modeling.
Okay.
Number two, we've got our motorbike, which does our
Mm-hmm.
errands. So it's our motorbike for the farm. So we
Mm-hmm.
just do packaging, first them mostly in the evening or early in the morning, and then they're
Mm-hmm.
delivered to that particular day. For those
Mm-hmm.
that may take long, sorry, we do value addition.
Mm-hmm.
So we fry
Mm-hmm.
and then we package and sell.
Mm-hmm.
If it is chicken, we defeather, we roast, we
Mm-hmm.
package, then we distribute. We have recently introduced a solar freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's, like I told you, I'm a solar guy. I never
Yes.
I'm off the grid. So we
Yes.
have the solar uh, freezer, and we've also introduced a solar incubator. So we
Mm-hmm.
have these that we do. For the eggs, also we just sell them based on the orders that come. So we've cut that challenge by being organized, and also we have clients who drive into the farm, so they come with their own transport. We sell them at farm gate price. For those that we
So
do
now
deliveries for, we also
so,
give them a charge for delivery. Yeah.
so let me ask you, as you do this, what is the what because I visited your farm. I cannot say the road is very good, but it's not as bad. I think Western Kenya has some of the good roads. I can say that, considering where I'm farming, we don't have a road. So my question is, what is the role of transport, affordable transport logistics? If you had a affordable transport and logistics. For example, either a freezer, or a vehicle that has a cooling facility for that produce to be able to reach Nairobi. Would it fetch better prices?
Yes, it would. That I can know. I can assure you, because the few people whom we've sent our products to in Nairobi, they've asked for
Mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm.
There are those who actually, when they were coming for Christmas, they were driving in as they were going to their villages, like Eldoret, Kakamega, and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it can stop. But as we speak right now, even the demand for Vihiga,
Mm-hmm.
after doing the POC and the test modelings, we're not
Yes.
able to meet it. So even
Okay.
thinking to come to Nairobi is not a challenge right now, because the
Okay.
market in Vihiga alone, we're not able to suffice it.
Sustain it. Okay.
All the same, in case we want to further our profits, let's say take advantage of the market in the city, then for
Mm-hmm.
sure, if transport systems are improved, if we have
Mm-hmm.
better refrigeration systems and coordination, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would fetch far much income. For your information, the
Mm-hmm.
small road coming to our farm,
Mm-hmm.
as a farm, we did our CSR and
Mm-hmm.
we engaged, and it's now done. So if
Ah,
you come
fantastic.
with your very good serve, you will not have challenges coming. That was
Very
our
interesting.
CSR to the community.
Very,
Yes.
very interesting. Why I ask that is because we are actually partnering with the UK Tech Hub and the UK Aid in terms of getting to understand how can we be able to uh, solve this challenge of affordable transport logistics services above the in terms of infrastructure and the rest we might not touch so much, but having done this it is very interesting to see that the cost the I mean transport plays a very big role in making sure that food is available. So allow us to go for a short break. When we come back, for those who are watching us, this is a Farmers Breakfast Show. We're discussing the state of the nation in terms of agriculture and what are some of these examples, practical examples that we can be able to use. For example, we're talking to our guest who is also passionate about the same topic in terms of growth, entrepreneurship, money in the pockets of farmers being empowered, improving livelihoods. Kelvin Care, who has given us some background information. Where are we going wrong? What can the youth do? We're going for a short break. When you come back, we want to hit it to the head. What is the role of government at national level, county governments? We are going to discuss things like access to fertilizer, access to water for irrigation, uh, uh, reducing over reliance on rain fed agriculture. We're going to talk about the Council of Governors, what is their role, what is their mandate, allocation of resources, allocation of county government in terms of their resources to agriculture. Allow us to take a short break, and when we come back, we discuss much more. Welcome back. I was trying to answer some of the questions that are coming thick and fast to me for our guest, and also just regarding the topic that we're discussing today. And again, welcome back. This is Farmers Breakfast. We're discussing what is the state of our nation in terms of agriculture. What are we doing right? Are we going the right direction with the right speed? Are we running faster than our legs? We are joined with the Kelvin Care. Kelvin, if you're still there, let us know so that we can now get into the discussion. Um, Kelvin, I don't know if you can hear me. Good. So as we wait for Kelvin to join, we have been talking to Kelvin and he's been giving us very interesting insights. One of the insights that I have actually seen for myself, had for myself, which is really, really, really commendable, is the fact that there's hope at the end of it. There is hope. We are able to see that there is hope coming in, and for sure, we this hope is actually if we are doing it ourselves, you know. And before going for a break, Kelvin, you've mentioned that there's a lot that can be done. You know, you've touched on some very raw nerves. You know, personally as a farmer, you've touched on very raw nerves, things like insurance. Insurance to farmers is not the same as medical insurance. We don't know which one is more important. Even the insurance paying you back, they only say they can only guarantee you 65% of your premium back. You know, so those are some of the things that we want to really touch on now and ask ourselves hard questions. And as we start off, I remember when you visited us, we discussed something about livestock feed commercialization as a project. How have you seen this as an important thing? Because you are doing chicken, you are doing goat, you are doing fish. There's a very big challenge when it comes to quality feeds. How have you gone around it, and how do you think this project of livestock feed commercialization can be a solution?
Well, thank you so much. I think for true, most of us in this space are facing a challenge of production because of the cost of feed. For those in livestock, dairy, poultry, piggery, and stuff,
Mm,
really the cost has gone up, and
mhm,
probably they are saying is the connection to the cost of maize also,
mhm,
which is up. There is also the wheat bran. I think there's a bit of challenge to get these components of making really quality feed.
mhm,
Well, again, I'll confirm with you that even the feeds that we are buying, the commercial feeds that we are buying from agrovets and these producing entities, we are not very sure of the concentration, the percentage of the nutrients in the feed, and
mhm,
that really contributes to the end result of the produce that we get. There is also another interesting aspect of production. Right now, it's organic. So again, how organic are the components that are being used to make feed? So I look at this program that is coming, or this opportunity that we have
mhm.
to support farmers with feed formulation opportunities
Yes.
or further production opportunities as an added advantage or a strength into the production of produce in agriculture. I support it, and really people really need also to think about new technologies, new opportunities
Mhm.
in this sector, because
Okay.
it's actually it takes the huge chunk of costing. the production in agriculture.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yes.
So one of the challenges that we have seen when it comes to feed is the cost of feed, low quality feed. We also have a lot of aflatoxin in the feed. How guaranteed do you how do you envision that farmers can be able to get good quality feeds from even across the borders? Is there any guarantee, and how can we avoid this?
It's not a guarantee because we are not there with them to witness the process of coming up with this.
Mm,
Uh, but I think even as a country, we need to invest in our own systems, in our own capacity, in our own ways of research. What are the egertons of this country doing? What is the MOI of this country doing to
mhm,
support and to help us come out with our own? Why must we be always going outside for
mhm,
solutions? I think we can be able to get local solutions here.
mhm,
As
mhm,
we go out, as we seek to learn from these other countries, let us also begin to
mhm,
look at what can grow in our country. The soil testing and the soil sampling, the soil science for
mhm,
Kenya particularly may not
mhm,
necessarily be the same as Uganda or
mhm,
Ukraine. So
mhm,
can we as a country focus on also providing our own local seeds and
mhm,
also local feed to address our issues? That will also go a long way in reducing the cost of production. Because if we are
mhm,
able to do our own local production of seeds, then probably
mhm.
it will be cheaper. And
Okay.
the process of taking care of them would also be cheaper. Thank you.
Very interesting. So there are some aspects of what you've mentioned that require attention at county level, attention at national level. Things like fertilizer being given out to farmers. What do you think is the criteria that should be used to give out these farmers? Once somebody has registered, is it a guarantee? What is the role of extension services that is required to make sure that even the farmer is actually even buying the right fertilizer?
I saw
I,
the
I,
deputy president.
I've told you, you've touched on some raw nerves. Yes.
I saw the deputy president
Uh-huh.
registering as a farmer. It's commendable.
Yes.
Um, I think, honestly speaking, Noah,
Mhm.
me, and that's why sometimes when we meet these government officers, we tell them right on their face that the
Yes.
approaches that they are taking are not for agriculture.
Mhm.
They actually to manipulate the
Mhm.
farmers and the producers.
Mhm.
I have not registered as a farmer
Yes.
in that system.
Uh-huh.
Why? Because I'm not interested in producing maize. But the
Yes.
registration was based on people to be given fertilizers.
Fertilizer. Yes.
It's not only maize production that is agriculture. So
Yes.
if there could be a system that registers farmers or agripreneurs in all
Mhm.
spheres, that is
Mhm.
the first score. So that
Okay.
this
Mhm.
particular zone is
Mhm.
a maize producing zone. But
Mhm.
out of the maize producing zone, we also have these livestock producers. We also
Yes.
have these um, aqua producers,
Mhm.
apiculture producers. We
Yes.
also have these foresters who are also
Yes.
agriculturalists. So that
Yes.
approach first
Mhm.
is room for fail in the way it is being done. In another
Okay.
aspect, it is
Yes.
also room to fail because it gives open room for corruption.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
there is this free fertilizer coming. I may not be really a farmer producing maize,
Mhm.
but I just want to get the fertilizer to be able to sell or
Yes.
to profit and save money out of it. Or take on behalf of another farmer who has got a larger size of land and may
Yes.
want more
Fertilizer.
fertilizer. So,
Or even
so
selling it.
that yes, that kind of
Mhm.
arrangement um, may not work. But this is
Very.
government, so
Yes.
it's government policy, and sometimes we are not able to address it. When we come to counties,
Yes.
Counties would actually give fertilizers when the planting season is gone. So what are you doing with that fertilizer?
So let
Yeah.
me ask you on that particular bit, do you think that
Yes.
Kenya was ready for devolving agriculture?
No.
Uh-huh.
Just like health, I
Yes.
think there's also still the struggle of devolving health to counties fully.
Yes.
Still, the national government is holding.
Uh-huh.
I think we were not ready,
Mm-hmm.
but we already. Sometime when you're baptized by fire, then you have to prepare, make yourself ready.
You jump
It's
in
a
and
good thing to
continue.
devolve. Yeah, it's a
Yes.
good thing to devolve agriculture, but then they need
Uh-huh.
to categorize or cluster
Yes.
agriculture in zones.
Uh-huh.
For instance, the kind of agriculture agri-ventures in the northern region should not
Yes.
be the same as in the western region or in the coastal
Yes.
region.
Uh-huh.
And then specifically pump in capacity in those counties to deal with
Mm-hmm.
the agricultural environment and ecosystem in those counties.
Okay.
And such that we would not have this issue of there is a lot of tomatoes in Naivasha
Mm-hmm.
and there is
Mm-hmm.
at the same time there is hunger in Turkana,
Yes.
you know, or there is so much cabbages in a particular region,
Yes.
and then
Another
another
side.
region has got as the people actually dying of hunger. That kind. There
Yes.
is a lot of livestock in another region, whereas
Mm-hmm.
there is no meat. You know, so when that kind of arrangement is done and the mapping of the climate and the underlying challenges around agriculture, then it will be easy to address the issue.
Mm-hmm.
People in the north region that do not need fertilizer as such now
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm.
people in Trans Nzoia, you know.
Yes.
But with new technologies, they could
Mm-hmm.
actually convert Garissa to be like Israel, and
And for
still they
some
will need fertilizer.
and
Yeah,
for some very
yeah,
good reason, I've seen what NDMA is doing in Garissa. Commendable job. Over 500 acres
yes,
of production. It's something that is possible.
yes,
It's not rocket science as well, and that is why
yes,
I still come back to the question, and I'd like us to dwell on it a bit more. What is
yes.
the if we touch that the previous question, and what is the mandate of Council of Governors if they cannot provide for us food, considering a lot of I mean, is there any regulation? Is there any criteria of allocating county resources to agriculture? Because I've not seen anybody, I've not seen any county that has allocated more than even 6% to agriculture of the county money. Even the really rich agricultural zones have not dedicated this in terms of, they talk about infrastructure, but I'm not seeing water dams being constructed. I'm not seeing irrigation equipment being given out. I'm not seeing support even in terms of produce from farms to the markets. I'm not seeing improve. I'm seeing building of markets, but there's no food to go to these markets. What is the mandate? Yes, what is the mandate? Because I would have expected you to say probably the extension officers have been coming to my farm. They've supported me. They've shown me how to harvest water. I'm not hearing that. What is the mandate? I mean, why do they exist?
Actually, these extension officers from the government, those who come
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
they come to learn. Actually, teach them.
Uh-huh.
So, um,
Yes.
ideally, counties should actually allocate about 10% of their budget to agriculture as
Mm-hmm.
per policy direction.
Yes.
But it doesn't happen because there are a lot
Why?
of competing
Let's
interests
start.
in
Let's
that.
start. Let's start there. Why? Why is it that they don't do? Apart from the competing, why is it? Is it something that they don't see important in terms of food production? Why is it that they're not doing
I look at it from leadership looking at opportunities to spend money quickly.
it? Mm-hmm.
So in agriculture, somehow it doesn't come out easily. For
Mm-hmm.
example, in affordable housing, it's very easy to get money rolling in the process of affordable housing as compared to agriculture.
Is it
Yeah.
because it is
So
easier to inflate the price of construction materials and you cannot inflate the price of seeds? And fertilizer. Why is it a disconnect? I know I'm putting you in a corner, but
The-
yes, wewe ndio uko.
uh, I would just say it's a vested interest because
Okay.
not very many people are again in agriculture, and very few people are interested also in getting into agriculture. Um, there's also the aspect of perishability and expiring. So, if for instance you bring fertilizer, the duration may not be the lifespan may not be as compared to a building block
Okay.
or or uh, or a cable, an electric cable. so,
Uh-huh.
so the chain the chain of purchase to the consumer of the produce or products in other sectors as compared to
Yes.
agriculture,
Yes.
the opportunities for privilege of resources are high as compared
Okay.
to agriculture. Um, the other thing is that I find it that most of the capacity you could find, maybe you have a very good director for agriculture or maybe a director for livestock, director for crops, but the person appointed at the apex governor could be passionate, but then the minister or the chief officer, particularly in counties, they may not be in sync to the realities of agriculture. So then you find that interests begin to change. Um, it's something that is highly technical, Noah. I was hoping that one of these fine days I would find myself in the county government so that I could also see how do we unlock some of these challenges.
And
But
it is not a very
it may
big
happen.
dream. We are sure that you will we will have we will have you somewhere there to help influence some of these
In the
policies.
future.
Yeah. So as we're discussing
So
this,
let me just before we end there, let me
okay.
say something about the budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
The budgeting
Mm-hmm.
again, like I said, the resources in counties are minimal. There is actually a system for distribution of these funds from the national government, from the county revenue allocation. I always discuss in the parliament and senate, and then the monies are approved. But then these monies, in most cases, they come to counties when the financial year is almost ending. Okay, so for example, the financial year is ending tomorrow, then money is disbursed today. So the expenditure of this money is such that the county system should be so much smart to either do procuring it and just wait for money to come, then that is
For
faster,
allocation. Yeah.
then money when it comes. But then in opportunities such as agri-ventures, again, is not easy. You tell somebody you have procured, if there's a project to distribute, let's say, dairy animals to farmers. So you go to a farm that is selling dairy animals. You tell them, give us cows, we will pay you when.
Yes.
I think, honestly, as an agripreneur, I will not do that. And that's now we find the reason why, again, the targeting and the budgeting around agriculture, again, the budgets are a bit low.
Yes.
So it depends on now the spirit of the governor, the creativity of the cabinet and the officers, as well as the directors, and also the preparation of the populace on such matters. Because the populace really, when they push for the inclusion of these matters in the CIDPs and the IDPs, then it's possible to budget for them and make arrangements with other players to support the programs. Lastly, is the uncoordination of programming within counties. You find
Okay.
there is let's say a health program that is on nutrition. To me, that is something that should be run by the docket of agriculture. But you find that it's run with a health unit, or you find another program that is targeting, let's say, women and women or youth in agriculture. That program will be run by the Department of Youth, whereas it should be coordinated from the Department of Agriculture. So
Mm-hmm.
again, a joint programming. You know what? When I was in the development world, working the NGOs, we have this
Yes.
programmatic approach to development. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, you have one program that is targeting health and
Mm-hmm.
agriculture, but coordinated
Mm-hmm.
that at one unit at the program level. So if governors can have the skill of program management and then pass this skill to the chief officers and the CECs, then it will be easy so that a chief officer will not be running and saying, this is my project,
Uh-huh.
running with it alone,
Okay.
and leaving as chief officer of health, running another project alone. At the end of the day, we are
Yes.
serving mwananchi, and we
Yes.
need to give them solutions that work to them, not solutions that compete or run parallel. Yeah.
So given a chance, Kelvin, would you
Yeah.
recommend that we return back agriculture to the national government? Are we safe?
I've
I,
asked that it goes back, but
mm-hmm.
from where we speak right now, it's already
Mm-hmm.
gone, and no governor would be willing to. Even me, as a devolution practitioner, I will not wish that it goes back, because devolving means money coming to the county and being budgeted to the county. What
So
needs to be done is just
should there be a pact, an agreement between national government? Because I mean, you've devolved agriculture, you've devolved the source of food, and then drought and hunger becomes a national crisis. Where is the disconnect then? Is there Should there be a pact between government? This money is being given to counties, but a certain percentage goes into agriculture, into extension services, into because giving fertilizer is one thing, showing farmers how to use the right fertilizer is a totally different thing.
the scenario currently is that yes, it is devolved, but the national government still has some clause on the space, especially
Mm-hmm.
issues that touch at the national, as the drought, the livestock what was it called, the locust calamity, and any other thing.
But
But
isn't it
as
that
you said,
they have clause on by being reactive? Sorry to cut you short. Are they reactive rather than planning?
actually they are reactive. They are reactive, they are not responsive. That's what I have
Mm-hmm.
mentioned earlier, responsive. A good
Mm-hmm.
example is the Noah. You definitely know that part of the season there's going to be drought, then there's going to be flooding.
Mm-hmm.
There was those days when sometimes we are in the city, you are told to by you are given notification earlier to go home early because there's likely to be a flood and the city will flood. There's going to be rain
Yes.
and the city will flood,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and other parts of the country,
Mm-hmm.
like in the eastern side of the country where we lost people, unfortunately. Sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Our government does not respond to issues in terms of planning. I look at Kenya as a gifted country. When we
Mm-hmm.
have the floods, why can't we have, you know, water ponds?
Mm-hmm.
Be able to harvest
Yes.
this water
Yes.
for future use, you know. But when it comes, the water just flows and goes to the Indian Ocean. Then it comes to the drought season. Then people die, then animals die. So it's a vicious circle. So I agree with you that we need honest leadership. And I look
Mm-hmm.
at it from our president, who is actually a farmer and he's been in
Mm-hmm.
this space for a long time. To just
Mm-hmm.
be deliberate and say, can we come up with solutions that really touch and affect and address the issues of our people?
Mm-hmm.
When we are expecting drought, can government buy off those animals from these guys at a good rate
Mm-hmm.
and be able to either uh, slaughter them and keep these or add value to this meat or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Or when it is raining, could we be able to harvest our water and use it for irrigation? When you look at the project that Red Cross did in Turkana, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it tells you that Turkana has got the
Exactly.
potential
Yes.
actually to feed
Yes.
Nairobi. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You are in Kajiado. Yeah.
Yes.
When you go towards Loitoktok, is that
Mm-hmm.
place wet? Is a dry section, but we
Yes.
have food coming from there.
Mm.
So it's a question of being deliberate, budget right, and
Mm-hmm.
implement right
Yes.
for us to get good feedback. And these processes will actually even encourage farmers to work hard. When you work hard and then a calamity such as this comes and the government is not prepared to compensate you, you are not able to
Mm-hmm.
go back to it in the next phase. Yeah, so
Exactly.
I look at it from more of a decision, governments being deliberate,
Mm-hmm.
coordinating properly, and
Mm-hmm.
lastly, as I had said earlier, to the country, zone the country in terms of the uniqueness of production, so that is even as in Vihiga, as much as I'm doing fish production, maybe we should not be doing fish. Maybe we should be doing mukombero or something of the kind. Yeah, and Kisumu would largely do fish or would do sugarcane.
Yes.
There is now a fish processing plant in Kakamega County.
Mm-hmm.
What is it for if the people in the region are not producing fish
Producing
in large
fish.
scale?
Where is the fish coming from?
Yes. Where, where is the fish coming and where is the fields for the fish coming from? And
Exactly.
where are the workers coming from? You look at the point I'm saying.
Yeah.
We have issues like waste disposal.
Mm-hmm.
Waste disposal. We are
Mm-hmm.
struggling on issues of energy and carbon credit and climate change. Where is the farm waste going to? Can it be converted into organic manure? Where is the solid waste going to? Can we have a particular county, just let's say in the western region, we have one county zoned as this is the county that will be collecting all the waste from other counties, converting it into manure, converting into biogas, converting the plastics and recycling them. That is a zone for that.
There's
Yeah,
something
they want to say
that
something.
yeah, that point has actually it has brought me to the next to my next question. Do you think that
Yes.
counties are trading amongst themselves? Do counties know each other in terms of the benefits that they can they can get from? Because I believe a county like Kajiado can benefit so much if they get water and they can be able to produce that food that they can even feed other parts of the country. Do you think that there's competition, more of competition amongst governors than collaboration? Because they all have this. I mean, when you listen to them during campaigns and things like that, they look really, really, really wise in terms of what the issues are addressing. But when it comes to reality, we have a very different picture. Do you think there's more of competition than collaboration?
Yes, there is competition and confusion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can say. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's like I mentioned, if the country is zoned, now that we went to counties and we really want to power our counties, then you
Mm-hmm.
will not hear of Makueni saying they have a referral hospital, yeah, and investing in a
Mm-hmm.
referral hospital. Then
Yes,
Machakos will also invest on referral
the
hospital.
same.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
that is
Mm-hmm.
wastage of resources because I can
Mm-hmm.
actually,
Mm-hmm.
a referral is a place where you are referred. The county should actually invest in ambulances that can quickly take
Transport.
a patient to a referral hospital, or invest in flight system, or invest in evacuation systems, and with the apparatus of health insurance opportunities to be able to serve even the poorest Mwananchi to be taken to a level, a referral hospital where need arises.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
Mm-hmm.
happening. So in the case for agriculture, you find that two counties that are neighboring, they are competing to produce the same,
The same food.
let's say, cash crop. Look at now, if you go to the central part of the country,
Mm-hmm.
if for instance Mira is in
Yes.
Embu,
Meru.
yeah, in Meru, yes, Meru
Yes.
County. I should not
Mm-hmm.
see Mira in Embu,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we power Meru to be the sole of Mira, and then Embu should not do Mira? We should not see any Mira in Kirinyaga, for instance.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But we use that to power Meru, and at the end of the day, it will power these other counties using other apparatus, open up their
So
markets, open up the
so
roads. Yes.
so basically what we are saying is that there must have been something that would have been done much better. The only challenge is that there's no collaboration. There's more of competition, competing for the resources that they're getting. So we are competing for a big piece of a very small cake. Because I mean, even the way we're doing bore irrigation, you find my neighbor is drilling a bore, I'm drilling a bore, another person drilling a bore. So as we go to wind up, I know we can be able to discuss this as well. So, Lohan, I want you to tell us if you were to meet our president, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, if you were to meet him and have a meeting with him for 5 minutes, what would you tell him, Kelvin? So you have 5 minutes.
I hope the opportunity comes.
You
So,
have it now.
Mr. President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto,
Mm,
having been a beneficiary of
mm.
agriculture all through your life, you have the chance to transform this country through agriculture. Be the one president who changes the country by investing just 40% of your annual budget to agriculture. Focus on production, focus on the market, and focus on building the capacity of the populace to embrace agriculture as the backbone of our economy as it used to be. It is possible. The opportunities for employment for young people are in agriculture. Opportunities for wealth creation are in agriculture. Our health depends on agriculture. I thank you. The challenge is up.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Calvin, for having spare time to be with us. I know that message you will reach. It will reach where it's supposed to reach. I am very sure about that. And we hope that once it reaches there, it can be able to have a change in terms of how we're doing things, the policies. Because I would expect the president, being an agriculturalist, to be able to even just have a meeting with all the CECs from the different counties and just have a meeting with them in terms of update what is happening on the ground and even establish probably an agronomist association of Kenya, where things are being done the right way. Thank you very much for those who have joined in today in the breakfast show, and we've been discussing so much about the state of the nation, and we know that it is paining you as a farmer, it is paining us, and we know that as we continue deliberating and discussing some of these things, we'll be able to see who can we partner with, how can we be able to make sure that this is a success. We are running quite a number of programs. Remember to visit our social media handles as well as our website, africafarmers.org, to be able to learn much more. If you'd like to place a phone call, you can always do that. Our telephone line is 0700 29 30 31 to get much more information, or if you'd like to contribute to any of our discussions. I would like to wish you a brilliant day as you start off, and this is a Farmers where we help you connect, learn, and grow.